Testing, testing, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. WTMFD. If you know what that means, say it back. If you don't know what it means, then you need to get on track. Welcome to the Den. I am your host, Sir Edward Honcho the Fourth. Call me EJ. That's a joke from the sauce. If you don't get it, don't worry about it. Anyway, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. Glad to see you guys who have joining us this night. We're going to get to a conversation that I think impacts everyone, right? I won't say everyone, but most people in the modern dating game, because dating has changed so much. We're going to talk about dating apps and if there's really a net positive from the usage of dating apps. So we'll kind of get into that. And whatever else on you guys' mind. Like I said, right now we're still in the phase where we're going to rock for about an hour. Then immediately after the stream, after we hit the 1 hour mark, we will hop into the Discord and we can jump in the voice chat and have a good conversation about things that we may have discussed this evening. Also, I think we're going to have an extra Dan tomorrow because there's a topic I wanted to get on, but I got back in late and I couldn't change it up the way I wanted to. But I want to talk about Glorilla tomorrow and kind of the situation that's happening with her and that happens with a lot of black celebrities you see. I don't know so much on the other side. Maybe someone can school me and inform me of similar cases. I think white celebrities get ahead of the game when they know somebody blowing up. They make sure all the legal paperwork is in place. Niggas just see somebody getting money and then want to complain about it. All right, so like I said, let's see who we got in here. I'm just testing something real quick. Y'all don't mind me. Okay, that's the background. That's back there. I don't like that. Okay, I don't need to change that. All right, I see the bot. For whatever reason, this bot, I don't know that it's still in here, and I keep forgetting to take it out every time. Sophisticated ignorance, what's the motherfucking deal? Queens in this bitch already. JB, Jabari, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell, Northern style. You know, we know how Miss Bell gets down around here. You know, when the bell has rung, we know what's going on. But good to see you, Miss Bell. Mark, what's the motherfucking deal? Good to see you, man. Professor Trill's here, if you're into that kind of thing. What's up, Trill? How you doing? So where you at in the world today, Mr. Trill? Are you in the Peanut? Shut up. I'm talking. You know, this is rude. See, the dog, every time I want to get live and I get going, the dog want to fuck with the momentum. Give me just a moment. Get out. Get out. You know what? Get out. You're rude. You're disrespectful. And, you know, the den folk, they don't appreciate that. Anyway, right. I guess I'll take that off, too. So, dating apps. Dating apps are interesting, right? Because there's dating apps for like every type of thing, I guess, that you're into, right? I remember Match.com being like one of the first things you kind of heard of. Then you hear like J-Date, which was, I think, was like a Jewish dating thing. Then you had like eHarmony. You had all these different, we have the algorithm to get you together. You just pay us this money and it's going to work. I don't know if anybody's using those dating. I think those are actually dating apps. And so maybe I need to be more honest about the title and what we're talking about today. And that is, you gotta pardon me. I feel like I've been around sick people and I feel like I'm trying to get a little bit of it. I've been trying to be ahead on the vitamin C, been drinking the emergency type stuff, and I feel like it's working. And then I also feel like it's trying to get me. Like you know, you have that feeling like when something's coming up, you kind of feel in your chest a little bit. Kind of got that going on. All right. So, like I was saying, you kind of have a situation where there's two different kind of apps, right? There's people who are really looking to date and court and establish a long-term. Nikki's going after Lizzo. That should be. We should throw that in there as well. Smicky, good to see you. How are you doing? Good to see you. HT Jason, what's the motherfucking deal? It's going to be a lot of. I'm telling y'all, like this. I don't know your religious beliefs, right? But if you feel like there's some type of end game, end prophecy happening, hey, I don't. I'm not going to tell you what to think. But we're living in very strange times. I'm just going to say that. It really can't get too much stranger at this point, in my opinion. because if you know, you know. If you don't, like right now, a lot of this information to some people is like new and shocking. Hold on. It's like new and shocking. And give me a second. Pardon me. It's new and shocking. I need some tissue. It's new and shocking, right? But if you're kind of I wouldn't even call it a conspiracy theorist. I don't even like that word. If you're just a interested person, right? If you're a person who's interested in the world around you, I think a lot of the stuff that's coming out now is not even, it doesn't even apply. Like, I'm so bored. Like, they're talking about all the files. That's why I ain't even really talked about it. It's like, okay, so what new information has come about, right? Like, there's nothing new there. You know what I mean? So, Vince, what's the motherfucking deal? Right. So there are dating apps, and then you got apps like with the simple initials POF, the BLKs. I'm sure there's some variation of what I think they had me hint. Some of y'all, I don't know again your time frame. Y'all remember? I don't know again the demographic, and I don't know how y'all got down on the internet back then. But there was a site called Black Planet, and Black Planet was essentially supposed to be like a black MySpace. You know what I mean? Delta, what's the motherfucking deal? Good grief. No, dating apps are worse than the bar or the club, significantly worse. Like the bar or the club, you still have to have like a skill set and you have to, have a little bit of personality. Dating apps, I'll get to that in a minute. But there's a thing called Black Planet, right? And Black Planet was like the MySpace, but it's supposed to be, geared towards black folks. I think they had one for Hispanic people like me and they, but people crossed over. I'll tell you one thing. If you were a black dude and you saw a white girl on Black Planet, you knew it was fair. You knew it was fair. You knew exactly what was going on. Same thing with that BLK app, right? If you see a BLK is supposed to be targeted towards black people, and you see a white girl or a Hispanic girl in the mix, if you hadn't had success on the dating apps up until that point, let me tell you something, partner. Right? Let me tell you something, bud. That might be the direction you want to shoot your shot. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me get a piece of tissue, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't want to be all snotty. Give me a second. Okay. So, excuse me. All right. So, obviously, one, if you're willing to cross some boundaries that you know weren't necessarily intended, you're really putting yourself out there. Like, if you're on a site and you're swiping and it's 172 black girls in a row and then you see one white and this is a black, like, bro, I mean, it's gonna be, right? Am I an equal opportunity dater? That's a very interesting question. Well, it depends on your terminology, right? Because I think people use the term dating in two different ways. Kind of like it was mentioned earlier, dating apps are only for hooking up, right? I think women use the term dating as a cover up for fucking. When men use dating, they mean actual serious relationship. Like, hey, this is my chick, or this is whatever. So, dating apps themselves are almost at this point purely for hooking up, right? And it favors some people not so much. And again, depends on what your intentions are. And we're going to dive into that. Let me answer the question. I would say I'm an equal opportunity employer. You know what I mean? I probably said it before. I mean, in this day and age, absolutely. At this point, we need to start looking for some green card talent because America's failing. Anyway, actual dating. I've dated long term in high school. Aside from that, I wouldn't say that interracially that I've had a long term serious relationship. or even like long-term engagement of that type. No, I wouldn't say so outside of high school. But not that it means just maybe the opportunity hasn't come. Maybe it won't come. Maybe it doesn't need to. But anyway, dating apps though, right? So, you know, let's keep it real. Fellas, we know what we're on there for, right? It's like, in a sense, like I guess Miss Bell, you're right. In a sense, it's like going to a bar or the club, but you don't have to spend any money unless you're paying for like the extras and all that shit. But you're seeing a bunch of individuals who kind of have a certain thing in mind. Now you'll scroll and you go through and you'll see some of the craziest shit, and you'll see some of the most idiotic stuff, and you're just like, bitch, you must be crazy. Like you're really going fishing. You gotta. And again, I'm not telling somebody not to have certain standards, right? I'm not telling you to have any standards. You know what I mean? 6'3". Like I'm not telling you to have any standards. I'm not telling you not to, but when it comes to the game of dating, finding a significant other, again, it depends on what it is you're looking for. You gotta kind of know where you fall and know your competition, right? Like you gotta be aware of that. You just kind of have to. So a lot of dudes get on there, and we're gonna look at it from both. I'm gonna be fair today because I know a lot of times you're like, Honcho, you just always take the men's side and you don't give the ladies the benefit of the doubt. It's just not fair because ladies have problems. And you're right. And I think in the dating apps, I think it's way worse for women. Honestly, I do believe it's way worse for women on the dating apps than it is for men. But in the sense of men have a lot less opportunity though. Women are more inundated with suitors. And I know as men, you'd be like, well, I wish I had a plethora of women to choose from. I think that if it was all kind of the same thing, like if you say you were flashing a bunch of money on it and every bitch was jumping in your inbox wanting some money from you. Yeah, the first couple of them, you might be cool if you trick a little bit or if you don't mind, whatever. But then after, so much, you like, it would kind of get dead. Like same shit. The broads kind of get tired of it. Niggas also don't have game. Women don't have game. Niggas don't have game. Like most people don't have game anymore, right? I've had a lot of homegirls tell me the fellas, stop sending the UDPs, man. Stop sending the UT. Look, that's one thing I can say, right? I told y'all the story of the one time I sent the DP, and it was a SDP, right? It was a it was a RSDP, not RSVP, RSDP, right? And then what happened with that, and that's why I say, that was the first and only time, none of that nonsense, because again, women are terrible. Women are terrible people. But you guys got to stop sending the UDPs, unsolicited dick pics. That's what it is. The women don't want them, right? And you got to think about it from their perspective. If a broad likes you, it don't matter it does not matter. It doesn't matter what you got going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to realize there's probably 100, if not 1,000 other, every nigga getting on the app doing, well, every other nigga probably doing that shit, because some of y'all, I worry about y'all, right? But it's going on. A little bit of conversation in this day and age, because nobody has any conversation, nobody has any game, nobody has any personality. A little bit of conversation, the ability to initiate some conversation will go a long way. But this is what happens. You get on there and say you make a connection with women. The women are so dry. They expect you to do it all, right? And that's the part that's kind of, this is some bullshit. Like they expect you to kind of do it all. And again, you say, oh, well, maybe he's not interested or whatever. It'll be women who initiate, in my experience, I've had women who've initiated conversation. You try to go back, and it's like you ask questions that actually require a little bit of thought, and it gets dead. And like I say, well, I'm not going to entertain the stupid bitch, even if it's just for some, because you got to talk when you interact at one point, like, and I can't entertain conversation with like a dumb broad. Like that shit is frustrating, right? Anyway, but so you kind of got to do all that. And then once you kind of get through all that, 9 times out of 10, you got to be careful because, again, she may be on the dating app carousel. This just may be a thing she does. depending on what type you are, what type of date or whatever you arrange. She might be trying to get a foodie call out of you. You know what I mean? The men put a lot of shit at risk, right? To try these dating apps. Niggas getting robbed off these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? I don't know, you say, well, they're getting assaulted. It's happening, I'm sure. And I'm not to dismiss any event that it does happen, but, you know, you got to be cautious. Like in these certain situations when you're going into these things, like you got to look at the type of people you're entertaining. A lot of, again, we know what the women go for, but anyway. Huh? Right, unsolicited DV. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, bro. It's. You say what? You turn off. Like I said, yeah, man. You gotta just you don't want to do that. Like you don't want to. When she likes you, trust me, you'll know. When she wants one, fellas, if you don't know, if she wants a SDP, you will know because it will come with the most interesting request attached to it. We'll just leave it like that, right? I've told you before, women are way worse than men. Hands down, it's not even close. So if a woman likes you, and you'll know it if it's that kind of time. But like I said, you got a couple things going on, right? And you got some people getting on these apps allegedly to find love. You got people on here hustling. You got people on here scamming. You got people doing all kind of wild stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a cesspool, but yet it seems like when people are down bad, it seems like a lot of people are down bad, they're going to these apps, right? But it's interesting, like I said, the weight is always kind of on the man to do everything. They had, what's that one? Hinge. Hinge was the app that I think they made it where the women had to take control. Like the women had to message first and like do all, like women had to take initiative. So remember I was telling you that, that women have no game. You know what I mean? And if you don't have any game, just have some simple, basic conversation. Like you don't have to be doing all kind of off the wall, crazy stuff, man. Just simple conversation. Conversation rules the nation. You learn that shit will take you a very, very long way in life. But Hinge was the one where the women had to initiate the interaction and all of that. And they said they had to end up changing that was Bumble? Okay. Well, I ain't been on all of them. I've been on a couple of them. And some of them are terrible. They're all terrible. They're all terrible. Like, and you know what? It's like, it's crazy because they make you so judgmental because it makes you feel like you just have this selection at hand. You know what I mean? And so you get judgmental on these things. And I know women probably do, especially because women are already super judgmental. And then you just got all kind of niggas, and niggas gonna be on that whole, like, trust me, some motherfuckers, you just got caught up in a like spam. Some motherfuckers just get on that shit shooting shotgun and they shooting at everything and just seeing what hits. And if you respond back or if you like, so you got to be caught. Like, you just never know how all this shit plays out. So you got to be really cautious, right? But Bumble then, it was Bumble, where the women could choose first, or women had to initiate all this shit. And then they took back, basically they changed the business model because it wasn't fucking working. And that's crazy, right? So dating already is a weird thing. And I got a bunch of tangents I'm going to go on very soon because I've just been thinking about shit. I've been thinking about celebrations as a whole, right? And I'm going to say this in a very general way because I don't want to go all the way into it. But would you agree or disagree, 0 for disagree, 1 with agree, that the only reason we celebrate anything is because of women? Like, I've been watching a lot of Mama's Family. I've been just having all kind of old school revelations about a lot of stuff. Like, men don't celebrate shit. Niggas don't give a damn about no birthdays. They don't give a damn about, like, a damn promotion. They don't care about it. Like, they don't want to celebrate. They just do it and they just go on about it, right? Like, I believe that. Ms. Bell, you say you disagree? All right, we're going to talk about this. I need to take notes. We're going to talk about this in the Discord, why you agree that all celebrations aren't because of women. All right. But anyway, yeah, like you said, back to Bumble. So you had to change that up. So again, men have to kind of get out there. They have to take the rejection. They have to take the limited selection. And then when you have a bunch of guys in one spot, women are all going to shoot for a certain one. Because again, if you feel like you only had access to a certain group of guys, then you'd be like, I'm gonna take the best out of that. But you're gonna see guys, you're gonna see girls that you feel like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd like to have that on my arm. I'd like to smash that or something. Not realizing, hey, some of us, I'm not saying me, I'm grouping it as us. Some of us got to realize where we are. We got to realize where we are on the scale of things. You know what I mean? Let me see. Prop, what's the motherfucking deal? That Heidi person's back. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what is this going on. Yeah, this is the Black Sleep audio podcast where we talk about black problems with non-black people. That's how we get down. Good to see you, Heidi, as always. But yeah, like I was saying, so it's a situation where who is really benefiting from the dating apps? Who is really winning on the dating apps? Are women really winning? Or is a certain type of woman really winning? Do dating apps cause us to lessen our morals, right? Like, are we willing to do things? Think about it. We've all, most of us, been in the bar, last call for alcohol. Last call for alcohol, and the lights are coming on. It's been a rough night. You're shooting over. And you take a risk that you normally might not take a risk on. You know what I mean? So imagine like having that situation without the embarrassment of being out in public doing it, right? In your home. So you got motherfuckers swiping and typing and hitting and doing some shenanigans and tomfoolery. Like, because it gives you access. Like, that's why I say the internet and having access to each other, although it sounds like a great idea, most people are shit. So giving shit people access to everybody else, you know what I'm saying? It just makes everybody else shitty. Like, that's what I feel like is going on, right? Because we talk about, oh, shitty man, shitty woman. It's just shitty people, right? And then shitty people infest the population, and then the good people talk about the shitty people on the other side, and then everybody's shitty after a while. But I blame the internet for that. So, yeah, Miss Bell was telling us about her experience on Bumble just a minute ago before you came in. So, but again, so you look at it though. I don't think men are winning. You're taking a risk, unless you're an upper echelon type of gentleman. I think they did a test. Right? Because if you're a nice guy and you have a nice look about yourself, you're just not going to win, right? Women want danger. Women want fantasy. Women want desire and lust, and they want all that type of stuff, especially in a situation like that. If they're on there for fun and they're not looking for, a serious thing, and they're looking for a fling or whatever, like, yeah, it's a lot of levels to it, right? And a lot of dudes don't understand it, and it's cool, right? I mean, either you do or you don't. You try to or you don't. It's not that could change your life, but that's what they're looking for. So normal guys are not winning, right? So they did a test, and it was a guy. They put all kind of like shit under there. He was a white dude, kind of handsome dude. And they put like he's a woman beater, got domestic charge, like put all kind of crazy stuff in the bio. And this dude's responses were off the charts, right? That's crazy, right? Because women love danger. But I would say that's a woman thing, but I don't necessarily. I don't necessarily think that's just a woman thing, because you see these pictures of like these women who get arrested and they go viral. And then niggas will be all up in me. I could save her. The bitch will be in there for like burning a nigga house down or some like, that's an instant wee soft. Like, bitch is crazy and got a bunch of charges. No, sir. No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Yeah, got a fucking bunch of crazy charges and violence and shit. Like, hell no. That's problem. It's going to be a problem. What? 335? Peace. But, you know what I mean? So you got women on there, you got women who be on there hustling, and people don't do things if these things don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't engage in certain, Peanut, you wanted to go out, now you want to come back, stay your punk ass outside. You got women who get on there, and like I said, because I wanted to get some evidence. So I told you I'm gonna start bringing out visual evidence. Y'all say I'll be making stuff up. But I remember one, it was like the dude, he shows the conversation. And like within 2 or 3 exchanges, the woman comes out about, well, I don't know, rent coming up and I'm kind of short on, like, I don't know if it, like women get on there hustling for the rent. Come on. Just sit there, you barking at your ass in here. This is nonsense. This is show ass. Anyway. Yeah, like, so you just don't know. Like I said, from foodie calls, from getting set up, you know, it's dangerous as a man. So it's like, even if you're a man and you get on there and you you share real information, you have to be careful. And it might not even be, you know, the evening that you, some of these hoes get on there, they'll fuck around and do all that. And then later on, after they done mapped it out and, you know, they still done gave you the pussy, whatever, they gonna send their homeboys to run up in there later. These bitches ain't got no souls. So you got to really be cautious. Same thing could happen with women. I don't think women necessarily, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say women don't necessarily invite men over to their homes like that, but they do. They absolutely do. Yeah, man. Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Every platform, TD, has a type, right? And let's just say I'm an avid searcher of the internet, right? I come from the internet, the old internet, right? Before all the stuff. Yeah, there's a certain group. If you like a certain type, there's a certain type on that platform. There's a certain type on the various platforms. I mean, each one of them. There's definitely a certain level interest type of woman that gravitates to those different platforms. Peanut, if you bark to go out, it's going down. And I didn't kick Peanut. I kicked his bed in his direction at his kennel, but he actually wasn't there. So anyway, I would never saw Peanut. Peanut is a violent, vicious, one of the least appreciative dogs I've ever encountered. Like most and least appreciative in the same way. Like not the same way, but at the same time. Super loving dog, super violent dog. But yeah. Anyway, already King, no problem. It's, you know, it is what it is. So like I said, man, dating apps, it depends on what you're on there for. Now, if you are lucky, you know, if you are a guy that is successful on them, and I'm sure people have been. You know, I'm sure that there are people who have been. I'm sure people have stories. I have stories I can tell. I'll save the stories for the Discord, right? See, I have to keep certain things to lure you guys into I have to tempt you into the den Discord. Yes, come into my den. Let me talk to you. No, but I got some stories. I probably shared a lot of the stories in the early dens, like in the early when this was when this was the Kush den. I probably shared some crazy stories, which I don't remember because I was lit. I was baked in the Kush. I went back and watched some of those. I'm like, man, this is disgusting. This is terrible. Like, why are y'all watching this stuff? But it was fun. I remember it being fun at the time. At least I thought it was. So anyway, but again, so what do you do? Like, what happens now? Like the dating apps. Everybody says the dating pool has piss in it. So it should be like the little red dye everywhere. You know, what do you do? How do you fix that? And do you really feel like people who are on these dating apps, are they really looking for love? Or is it more of a hookup thing? And we're talking about men and women, right? You said, well, I guess you answered my question. Any woman that thinks a man on one of those apps looking for love is fucked. You know, why not? Why I can't be booking Panub in all the wrong places, you know? I mean, some guys don't have enough. You got to look at it like this. Some guys are afraid to talk to women, right? Some guys are afraid to speak to a woman in public. They're afraid to introduce themselves. They're afraid to engage in conversation. They're afraid to exchange information, right? Even when a woman is visibly showing signs, right? Some dudes are unaware. There's been a lot of times I've been oblivious to stuff, and then later on, it's like, you know, I was trying to get with you. You act like you wasn't fucking with me. I was like, man, I had no fucking idea. Because women are terrible with games. So sometimes you gotta be initiative. You gotta initiate. But sometimes that may be the only thing they got. Like that might be the only time. Might work a lot, right? Maybe this is my only shot I can shoot at a bunch of different women. So it may be dudes on there who really looking to encounter their forever one. You know what I mean? It may be dudes on there like at this point in life, I'm learning to think differently, right? I won't even say differently, but more sensibly. From everything that you've been seeing going on in the world today, I leave nothing out of the realm of possibility, right? So for me to think that there absolutely are, right? There absolutely are. And there are women who believe that dudes are on there looking for love. Again, women aren't dumb. Women are very smart. Women are very bright, right? So this is why I say when some of the things that they do and say are so disturbing because they know what they're doing. Women are very bright. Women know how to play the long game. Women understand what's going on. These dating apps, in one way or another, are a hunting ground for a lot of women, right? They might be a hunting ground to find, Dexter St. Jock, get their rocks off. Hey, you know what? Women got needs too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they look, women lust the same way men do. Don't think it's any different. Like I know we were told it was different. I know a lot of them put on that demeanor. Like, don't fucking believe in one minute. I don't care who she is. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care what you think. Don't ever think for one moment, right? Don't ever think for one moment that a woman has not been entertained in the most devious of ways. Say the men on there say every 200 pounds. But see, that's the thing. Like, again, I understand the 200-pound problem for most men, right? I understand the 200-pound problem for most men. 200-pound problem is not a 200-pound problem for Ed Honcho, right? Might be a preferred problem. Like, I don't want to wrap around my body and be hugging myself, right? That's not what I want to feel. I want to feel my old sharp ass elbows and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be feeling my old ashy ass skin, this little barely hairy ass arm and shit. Like, I don't want to feel that. That's not what I want to do. You know what I mean? So, I gotta have a little cushion for the push and push. The shit ain't cut right. The shit ain't right. That's all I'm gonna say. So we can measure lust. What I'm saying is fine. Show me the test. I will prove it to you. Right? There just needs to be the right circumstance. I believe that we can measure the circumstances have to be identified and how you send me the test. Right? Because I promise you. No, it can't. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not. We gotta. When later on we'll word this. I gotta make sure I'm wording this properly, right? Because I know you're a verbal tactician. Look at that Negro trying to use the words that he's not accustomed to. How dare he watch me obliterate his ideas with my scientific backing? Nobody will hear that shit. We don't want that. We don't want that official shit. You know what I'm saying? Women are or maybe because they're so repressed, right? Maybe it's because they're so repressed, and that when the opportunities do come, that they do get to release that suppression. Maybe it's just more of that pent up, right? Maybe that's what makes it more intense. Maybe not on the long term, maybe not the amount, but the intensity of lust that a woman can have significantly outweighs that of a man, right? I don't want your scientific method. I don't need it, because the Honcho-tific method proved this shit already, right? The Honcho-tific method is a slightly science-backed method that is based on observation and interference. So anyway, getting back to the dating apps, because this is some shit that's way off. Like, how do you fix the dating game, right? Like, how do you get to a point where dating seems normal? And here's another thing about the dating apps that have fucked up the dating game, because, like I talked earlier, guys are afraid to talk to women in person. So if you actually go out in reality you have a lot of guys who are afraid and they're missing those shots. They're missing those. Like you have a gorgeous woman in front of you, right? And she giving you the eye. She's giving you the eye, the little googly eye. They all got kind of different little googly eyes. But when she gives you a little googly eye, that lets you know the extended stare. That's what they do. They don't say shit. They'll just stare a little bit extra long, right? But not with the stupid face. Because you got the stupid face stare, like when they're looking at some dumb shit. You should know the difference by now. We're all grown. But anyway, and won't shoot the shot. And won't take the opportunity, right? Because everything's been done online. Shit, Instagram is basically a dating app. Motherfuckers don't ask for numbers anymore. Like, remember, I don't know the age range of people in here. Hey, I've been saying that. My mom, you weren't in the sauce the other day, I don't think, or at least when I said it. My mom asked me that, right? And my mom don't ever ask no kind of, like, and she asked it so politely. It's like, you think that boy batting for the other team or playing for the other team or something like that? Like the way she said, it caught me so off where she never says anything like that. So, yeah. Man, look, there's a lot of things that can cause women to grow mustaches. So it's like there's medical conditions. There's probably, I'm pretty sure injected testosterone probably doesn't help with that either. But yeah, do I prefer BBW? Look, here's the thing, man. Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the term BBW because that's one of the first videos ever done in the den. The term BBW, the term thick, right? These things have been almost like the body positivity movement. They've been adopted by the wrong people, right? Because we need, in 2026 at this point, we need to adopt a range, right? There needs to be a range. Because when it gets to a point where it's physically impeding you from being able to move normally, you can't be calling yourself thick at that point. Excuse me. 1 second. Oh my God. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Sorry about that. That was weird. But yeah, you can't be calling yourself thick. You can't be calling yourself thick at that point. Like, that's morbid obesity. BBW, and then you gotta, you gotta ask who. It depends on who BBW you're asking. I forgot if it was in here. I think it was in here. No, oh no, that was in the Discord, and Lou was in that. Oh my God, that was the funniest fucking. Oh, I gotta bring that shit back up. I gotta bring that shit back. I don't remember who all was in there, but that was the fun. Like we all. This was down around. This was around COVID time. We were all in the Discord, and I think somebody brought up the term BBW and what it meant, and so people were sharing images of what a BBW in definition meant to them, right? And Lou posted some very interesting submissions. We'll say that. And then we were asking him, wait a minute, I think he said that he thought it meant big black woman instead of big beautiful woman. So I guess it still applies. I mean, I guess it's under the BBW umbrella, maybe big Brazilian woman, big blind woman, big blonde woman. I don't know. I mean, you could probably take it and work it a little bit. You know what I mean? And so, Josephine, Johnny, Lord have mercy. I love y'all. Y'all are great people. But, but yeah, like I said, so what do you do, man? And will it ever get back normal, right? Because I think a couple of things matter when you're talking about dating. Like, yeah, you're bored at your house. You don't feel like wasting no time going anywhere. You just want to see if maybe, you match with somebody on the same page, or if they're on the same type of time, you might be on demon time, and they might be on demon time with you, right? And that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. You're a match. You got your little bumping buddy. It might be a one-time thing, might be a multiple-time thing. It is what it is, right? So, but this is diminishing the ability and the skill, because not only is being able to holler at a woman in public like just a skill for yourself. I mean, it's a communication skill, right? Like, how does that help you in sales? You know what I mean? You're going to treat your male customers differently than your female customers because you're afraid to talk to a woman. But people have to get out. People have to get back to the real thing. But where do you do it? Where does it happen? Because everything kind of sucks now, right? That's what you're feeling like. I like that one. I like that. Say hugging the curves on a Formula One track, way more fun than 2 seconds on the track. I fucks with that. I fuck with Prop. Shout out to Prop. I fuck with that one. That's funny though. That's super funny. Yeah, man. So like I said, it's just a situation like, and you gotta accept it. Like we can complain about it. We can really complain about it, the size thing and all that. Like I said, to me, it's not a big deal, right? I think larger men don't complain that much. Might prefer it. Might be a preference, right? But again, 200 pounds to a guy who's not in the gym limits the ability to do certain things, right? Depending on what this arrangement is about, right? Depending on what this rate, it limits. And so, like I told y'all, especially when we've been around the carousel, so you might remember old buddy who was able to, flip around on the mattress versus, I'm just saying. So these things matter. You say Vivica, all that. Oh, that's Vivica. Vivica is terrible now. Vivica made the worst decision. Like, you should have stuck with 50 when you had a chance. Now you're over here lamenting all that shit. Vivica looks awful. And she like got 60 and then went and got like a BBL. That's awful. Y'all already know Halle Berry. My thoughts about Halle Berry has the worst coochie in the history of mankind. There's no way you're supposed to be that beautiful or you can want all this, that, and the third, and niggas cannot stand your motherfucking ass. And you're paying alimony and child supports, niggas. Vanessa Williams. I don't think I got enough for Vanessa Williams right now. Is Vanessa Williams who hated on whatchamacallit, or was there somebody else who hated on Tyson? Well, whoever hated on Tyson is a funky bitch. Girls from Fresh Prince. I don't know what they look like now. I have no idea. I think I seen one of them in a Tubi movie. Laura from Family Matters. Like, y'all saw that reunion, and they have the little meme where they're talking about when you wanted her, and they showed like a clip from the show, and then when she wants you, and they showed Laura looking at damn, what's his name? Urkel, for now, until I think of his real name. Let's see. Compared to Lizzo, look, Ozempic Lizzo. Hold on, man. Ozempic Lizzo, man. Look, hold on, man. Hey, we can have a conversation. Man, the baddest, definitely went on that one. I agree with that. Robin Gibbs was the type one. The baddest era of women in history. I've done the research, right? This is not to diminish modern women and all that, and it's just how you can't help when you were born. But I think across the board in American history, and if they would have had dating apps back then, society would have probably crashed about 20 years ago, right? The 70s, 60s, 70s. I'm gonna say more so the 70s, right? I've been watching a lot of old blaxploitation. I've been watching a lot of old 70s movies, old crazy shit. Probably was when women were the most attractive on the silver screen, right? I will say that. I will concur to that. I don't know what was happening. Well, I don't know if those are probably B movies, those blaxploitation movies. But I would say across the board. Now, and I know it sounds like it's hateful again because I come from an era of natural. I like natural stuff. I like that. That's beauty to me. A woman's natural beauty is what it is. And I think all this new stuff that they try to get women to do is really taken away from it. It's making them more insecure because they're seeing all these women layer up and contour and do like some stuff at some drag queen library hour type deal going on. And they doing all that type of shit. And it's like, it's taken away from who you are. Just accent what you got. Don't do it a whole lot. Just a little, I don't know, throw a little brush, throw a little line. Like, don't draw a whole new face and just accent what you got and be happy with that. But now, like I said, women have become, they blame men, but they have lower self-esteem now because of the things they're seeing other women do. It's just like almost like an insult. It's crazy. Blaxploitation, the old 70s movies, like that's what they used to call them, blaxploitation movies, when they when it used to be like some jive turkey going on a mission against the neighborhood pimp who saves lives. Yeah, some type of shit like that, But don't you might not be able to handle that that type of lingo. Anywho, see, you got me way off. Good job, Heidi. You successfully did it. But dating apps overall, I think, are a detriment, right? But I don't think they're going away anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised if they're continuing to gain in popularity because it always seems like there's another one coming out for this type of group. I saw one for gamers only, which should be really interesting. The thing about me is I just look at things, I guess, a little bit odd. Like even a situation like gamers only. Like I can see how women are easily going to exploit a certain type of person, right? Because if you're looking for a partner and your primary thing is she needs to be a gamer, we can kind of guess what kind of selection is primarily available that you would think, right? Now, I'm not hating. I'm not saying that all women who play games are ugly, but I think that there's a stereotype. I think that it's not going to be the ones who are doing, and I guess a crossover because you see a lot, I guess, that stuff, but those are mostly like twitchy type people. I don't know what people do behind the scenes. I don't fucking know. But you would think that you're going to get a more regular chick who's not into all the baddies and all the other nonsense that goes on TV, right? So you're not expecting a certain look. And all it would take is some broad to get on there that looks a certain way, paint her face up and act like she's really interested, and she would be able to finesse a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like they would be able to finesse a lot of people because again, I think that there's just certain demographics and certain types of mentalities that it's advantageous for people to take advantage of, and I'm seeing that more and more often. But yeah, that's why I say you got to be careful on these things because I'm looking at them now, and the more I'm thinking about them, I'm talking about them in my life. These dating apps come across one side or the other. These are kind of predatory. Like somebody's looking to get something off somebody. It's not a lot of mutual interest, whether it's just mutually trying to really get to know each other and be something serious, or if it's just some mutual fucking. And I know it's some fucking going on, right? But it's a prostitution going on in the motherfuckers too. Like, don't be surprised. Like, that's what I tell you. Like, you you got to be careful. Hey, Lobo, what's the motherfucking deal, man? You gotta realize, like, man, it's a lot of these, like I said, are cesspools, right? A lot of these are, and again, you just gotta be careful. You really gotta be careful, right? Because if it's easy for you on there, how easy was it for the next man? Like I look at it like this, right? Because women charge different prices for different entry fees for different guys, right? If they like you, it's a little bit cheaper, almost free. They don't like you, it's going to cost you your life, and you still might not get in, right? That's just how it goes. It is that way. So, but you just got to think about it. I always look at it like I'm probably not the free guy, right? Or if I am the free guy, I'm not the only free guy. Like if I'm the free guy, what's wrong with you, you dirty bitch? But no. So you just kind of got to think about it like that. Like, so you can't take some of that stuff too serious because some dudes get on there. Some dudes, I've heard stories of niggas getting on there, get hooking up with the broad and everything all groovy and then getting blocked. Some of these women just get on there to get their rocks off. Then they might regret what they're doing. You know what I mean? So you got to be really careful on these platforms of what you choose to do and how you choose to approach it. What are you saying? Say the females earning money in their shit when they go live. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You said CCC. Oh, yeah. Let me see. What are you talking about? Well, I think it's a lot of things going on. I don't even think it's about women making money. Like I don't even think that's part of what's going on because I mean it's super popular prostitution. But I think what's happening, I think the more detrimental stuff is the things that women are saying who are not making any money. The things that they're getting on the internet and saying for free is doing more detriment than, we understand the women who are going and getting the money. Might not like it, might not be for it, might not support it. I understand it, right? Are we mad at her for, using her commodity and taking advantage of it and people are willing to pay for it? And just, it's up to how you look at it, right? That's all your personal choice, depending on what day you find me on, I may be for it, I might be against it. It just don't matter. But are we mad at that? Are we mad at the men who don't have the ability because they're not taking the risk to get out there and actually meet women and maybe kind of figure themselves out, get a little bit of confidence about themselves, and you can have women like that without having to pay for them, right? Because they exist, they do exist, they are around. There are cool chicks out there. You just gotta put the work in, right? So, terrible millionaire streamer. I would be friends with a millionaire streamer. I would, but see, that show your character. Is that not the quote of the year? If that's not the lock-in quote of the year, right? Did y'all see that? Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Heidi only makes money from butthole pics. That's her primary forte. Bleach butthole. Did you that was who is that? I don't even know who that is. I have no idea what that is. I'm Earth. I think I heard that on one of the video, like of the worst people. Like one of the worst streamers, like people who do them videos, like these are terrible streamers. Don't blah blah blah. But yeah, man, did y'all see that when Bud was talking to what's that nigga name? Channing or what? I don't even know that nigga name. Crowder, whatever that nigga name. I don't know his name. I don't be knowing these people, bro. Like I promise, like I really don't. When they take the jerseys and shit off, what's that nigga name again? I don't remember. But yeah, and he was like, man, shit, I'll sell my soul. You could have my soul for $100 million. And nigga Bud was like, yeah. And now we know your character. Like, and didn't crack a smile. And that nigga Bud needs to be studied. Like, needs to be studied. Terrence Crawford needs to be studied. Right? Again, he's a representation of what happens when you make a man go through the fire at a very young age. Now, I'm not saying I condone what his mama did, but shit, it paid off. It paid off. She used to make the neighborhood, she would pay the neighborhood kids to try to fight him, and they would be whooping their ass. That's crazy shit, bro. That's crazy shit. That is wild. So anyway, it's about that time. This is what we're going to do. We're going to jump into the Discord, right? We got about 3-4 minutes left to go. We're going to jump into the Discord. We're going to continue the conversation on dating apps. Heidi won't be there to disrupt the conversation because she's a chicken and she's afraid of the Discord. So we'll just continue to talk there. What? The most famous person from Houston? I haven't been keeping up. Like I don't know. I haven't been keeping up lately. I don't know the rappers. I haven't heard the new Beyonce. I don't know what's going on. Where's my lighter? Yeah. So like I said, we're gonna jump into the conversation about dating apps. And since we're not live, we can actually talk about maybe more so about dating app experiences you may have had, right? I may have one. I may not. We'll see. We'll see who shows up. I can't be telling everything to everybody. Some of y'all being what I'm saying, I gotta watch out for y'all. I got to keep an eye on you. But with that being said, make sure you're following the Den Show on all the proper social media. Den Show Live on Instagram, Twitter. We're no longer on the Toctic. Threads. We're on Threads. Right? It's not like any of these other platforms are any less worse, right? I just made a choice not to, you know what I'm saying? I'll have to see about that, right? Because remember I told y'all about so you gotta be careful with descriptions, right? Because I told y'all about the story with the cousin and the thick Filipino. So yeah, get the visual for don't, fellas, if you have a homegirl, this is my last piece of advice before we get up off here. If you have a homegirl and she tries to hook you up on a blind date with her friend, everybody got camera phones, ain't no excuse not to have no picture. Do not go by the description. Do not go by the description. Get a picture, get an image. We all seen Friday. We know how that goes. So with that being said, Discord. Again, I appreciate y'all. We're going to go live tomorrow because I said I want to talk about the Glorilla thing because I think that ties into a bigger conversation about rich niggas and the problems that they deal with. So we're gonna get into that tomorrow. But with that being said, I'm Chunk Up Produce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I appreciate y'all coming through to the den this evening. Like I said, we'll go live tomorrow because it's not so bad when I'm only doing an hour in the sauce. We'll go live tomorrow, and then it'll be live again Sunday if we don't catch you tomorrow. Again, 9 p.m. Make sure you're there. Be there. Be square. Hit that like button. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend about the den. Not all friends, because some people might befriend you, unfriend you for telling them about the den. They're like, nigga, this the type of shit you be on. Nigga, don't talk to me ever again. Most black women will probably unfriend you for the den. The ones that do though, they cool as shit. That's the ones you want to, keep in your circle. The ones that are unfriend you, they I don't know what to tell you, Chief. Anyway, again, as always, my honor, my privilege, my pleasure. Look, I got to make sure I get the whole hour in, right? So I got to make sure my time is right. It's only fair. I said an hour, I'm gonna deliver an hour. Again, it's been my honor, my privilege, but most of all, my pleasure. I'll catch y'all in the Discord. Beat me there. Don't meet me there. Y'all know how this goes. And I'm out. Thank y'all for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, y'all ain't got to go home. Y'all gotta get the fuck up out of here, man. I told y'all I gotta fuck with y'all in the Discord, man. Get up out this motherfucker, man. I gotta close the damn dime, man.